Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this live session. Yeah, let's quickly look at some of the happenings in Nigeria today. Like you can see, the caption of what I have here says Tinubu chooses deductions as Trump shares sacrifice. So, it has to do with what is currently happening in the country. This headline was published today yesterday being 8th of March 2025 by Sahara Reporters. And like you can see, it says Tinubu government orders salary deduction from Nigerian workers, claim December was overpaid due to system error. So you just keep wondering what's happening in this country. There is no kind of news that we're not hear in this country. You can imagine workers who are barely, surviving, who are striving to see the next day in Nigeria. Now their salaries are being deducted. You can imagine in a country that is still struggling to pay 70K minimum wage. Now they are now trying to deduct from the people saying they overpaid them. And you look at what is happening across Nigeria, I tell you, people are suffering. Now, this image was also published by Sahara Reporters. You can see the date there. That was yesterday, 8th of March 2025. And it says residents in Abuja community forced to use dirty water, stagnant streams, as only borehole breaks down for 3 years. So for the past 3 years, the borehole in the FCT went bad and they've not been able to repair it. This is a country where we bought new jets for the president. They were talking about yachts, if they paid or they didn't pay, I don't know. The FCT minister built house for the vice president and all kinds of things. This is the same country cannot provide water. You can imagine if people outside the country are seeing headlines like this, that people in Abuja don't even have water. I mean, clean water. The video that even came from this, let me try to see if I can share it with you guys. The video on the social media will shock you, where people are just, you need to see the kind of water Nigerians are using in a country that is said to be a very rich country, but still we are struggling in so many things. Honestly, the rate at which this government is impoverishing people is something else. So you can imagine just getting water in Nigeria is something else. It's something else. And one keeps wondering if, okay, this is the video from Sahara Reporters, just for you to take a look at this. You can see the headline there saying residents in Abuja forced to use dirty water. See the water that people are living on. Basic needs. Nigerians are not asking much. Just little things. Give us water, give us electricity, give us good roads, give us schools. These are the things Nigerians are asking the government to provide, but we can't. So Sahara Reporters published this video yesterday and was, with that headline saying that the people living in Abuja, see where they are getting their water from. I think the FCT minister has got to do more. They've really got to do more. You know that water is a problem across Nigeria. When Peter Obi was building boreholes and people were criticizing him, that is that the much he can build. He's building fake boreholes. But you can imagine, look at water people are using. Possibly they are drinking from this water and they are equally using it to cook. That's the Nigeria we all are living in. And I think the government really has to sit up. They have to sit up because a whole lot is to be done in this country. You must have seen where they are, Tinubu was in the north. They've already started campaigning for, the 2027 presidential election. And one keep asking, what has the current government achieved? What have they achieved for the Nigerian people that they are quickly rushing to start campaigning? And we know how the north is. It's easy to buy them. You could see multitude of people that gather to welcome Tinubu in the north. It's easy to just give them peanuts and they will follow you. They will sell their votes. That has always been the challenge. And that's why we end up getting wrong people together with what INEC does. That's how we end up getting the wrong people in governance. Now, talking about the challenges in the country, you may have known or you are yet to know that, security is one of the biggest problem we are having in this country, giving security to the people. Insecurity is everywhere. The headsmen, they've been moving from here to there, causing all kinds of destruction and, obstructing businesses. And this is today's headline, 9th of March. And it says, these terror guys abducted farmers. Manager demands 100 million. This in Ondo. This is not even in the north. This is in the southwest. Like last week, we saw that many of them were in the southeast. They were there in Ebonyi State, they were there in Enugu State, and the people of Enugu were even protesting because of what the headsmen were doing to them. And now it's coming from Ondo State. There's this woman, I think from Oyo State, there's this headline too, that Oyo State lawmaker is lamenting over what the headsmen are doing in her constituency. She's from Ibadan. So you can imagine these people are everywhere. The question remains, why is Tinubu not wielding a hard stick on these people for them to stop all this? It's been long we've been on this. When Buhari was there, people thought, oh, it's because Buhari is a full animal. He doesn't want to go hard on them. Now we have a southern president and we are still having this challenge. One keep asking, when is it going to stop? So you look at this headline. It says custom hand over 1,000, almost 1,006. Seized arm to NSA office. So why I brought up this topic is because they used to say is, each time custom seizes this kind of weapons, they will tell you it's either maybe it's IPOB that brought it in or is nnamdi. Now Nnamdi Kanu is held in the DSS custody. Simon Ekpa is also not having his freedom. The question remains, who are those importing this kind of weapons into the country? Who are those? Just take a look at this. You see, these are what the Nigerian custom handed over recently to the NSA office. The question is, who is bringing in all this arm into the country? Who are those doing all this? Take a look at all this, coming into Nigeria at a time when the kidnapping is everywhere and they're asking for ransom. The police cannot trace them, but they can track those on the social media who criticize the government, but they can't track all these people. Recently, a Afenifere youth leader was kidnapped, but God saved him. They finally released him. But you can see now so many kidnap cases across the country, and it's really hard to understand which direction this country is going to. And one keeps asking, what is all this? These are parts of the arms that were seized by the Nigerian custom and handed over to the NSA. And campaign has already started. Sheyi Tinubu went to the north. They were singing and saying, oh, continuity for Tinubu, continuity for Jagaban, renewed hope agenda, continuity. I was so shocked. This is the same north that was complaining that Tinubu is impoverishing them. There's this audio today on Twitter where a northerner was lamenting that the cost of agricultural products just fell so low. They are now accusing Tinubu that Tinubu is the one that, made agricultural products to fall so that the north will be impoverished. You can imagine. And it is still these people that are singing praises to Sheyi Tinubu. So you just keep wondering, where are they standing? And these are some of the challenges. Now, I brought a video about Trump. Trump is saying that he is not being paid by the American people. He's not on salary, in case you don't know. Trump does not get any money from the American people as salary. He's doing whatever he's doing there for free for them. And then he made this video where he was telling the entire world what he's losing because he's not there in his business. It's like you left your business to come and serve the government, to come and serve the people. So he said he's losing billions of dollars because of his absence in his business. It's costing him a lot. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this video and then we'll get to the next video. Take a look.
Matter. I'm doing this for the country. I'm doing it for the people. I don't know if you know it, George Washington. He ran his business simultaneously while he was president. Many other presidents, there weren't too many really rich presidents, but there were a few. They ran their business. Hey, Obama made a deal for a book. Is that running a business? I'm sure he didn't even discuss it while he was president. He has to deal with Netflix. When did they start talking about that? That's only, a couple of examples. But other presidents, if you look, other presidents were wealthy. Not huge wealth. George Washington was actually considered a very, very rich man at the time. But they ran their businesses. George Washington, they say, had two desks. He had a presidential desk and a business desk. I don't think you people with this phony emoluments clause, and by the way, I would say that it's cost me anywhere from $2 to $5 billion to be president. And that's okay. Between what I lose and what I could have made, I would have made a fortune. If I just ran my business, I was doing it really well. I have a great business. I have the best properties. But between what I lose, and in all fairness, some properties, Doral an example. Doral was setting records when I bought it, because I owned it for a period of time. Setting records. There was nothing like it. It was making a fortune. And then what happened? I announced I'm going to run for office, right?
So guys, let me stop it at that point. What I actually wanted to share with you guys on this video is leadership is all about sacrifice. Leadership is all about sacrifice, but it goes the other way when it comes to Africa, and to be specific, when it comes to Nigeria. People don't want to sacrifice. People don't want to make sure that they sacrifice to the people. Let the people be the first thing that you have in mind when you come into leadership position. But it's the other way around in Nigeria. When you look at our government, when they came in, it was about furnishing their offices. They will tell you to cost 1 million. Buying equipment will cost billions. This one, buying vehicles, it's just about them. What have they done for the Nigerian people? That's the question. Now, take a look at this Burkina Faso leader, whom everybody knows he has been doing wonders. And this video too has been trending on the social media, the kind of housing he's building for his people. I tell you, Nigeria has more than this country, but we can't do this for our workers. Take a look.
The captain, the military head of state of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is doing for his people. Look at this. This is free housing for the poor people of Burkina Faso. He's making sure that no citizen of Burkina Faso is homeless. This is what we are going to church for. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day of the week. This is what you are going to church. Night vigil. This is what you are going to church. This is what you go to mosque, hitting your head on the floor for. This is what you go from one babalawo, one spiritualist to another for. Steady electricity. 24 hours, 365 days electricity. Running water. They will have job. Job is already provided for them. They will be gainfully employed. They can go to school and be truly educated. This is it. Captain, we are proud of you. You are the true son of the ancestors. You are the true son of the soil. Africans all over the world, the true Africans, not the useless imbeciles. The true Africans are proud of you. Well done, Captain. You are doing wonders. Well done. This is what the government is supposed to provide for you. Not be spirituality, religion. Without anything. You are spiritual with nothing. Spirituality with empty stomach. Spirituality, you lack every social amenity. You lack everything, every facility, you lack it. Spiritual nonsense. Well done, Your Excellency. You are the true excellency that we know. Well done.
So I just hope African leaders will learn. This is the guy in the middle, a young guy who understands that, Africa has struggled for a long time. It's time for us to liberate ourselves. He's not depending on the West anymore. He wants to be independent and use the little resources that comes from his country to build his country. He has been busy commissioning companies, in Nigeria, opening factories. You know what Peter Obi canvassed on when he was campaigning? From consumption to production. That is what this guy has been doing in Burkina Faso. Opening companies. I've seen detergent company. I've seen tomato paste company. I've seen so many companies that he went to, launch. He has been empowering his people, giving them employment. Now look at those houses that you just watched. Do they look like houses that are going to fall down tomorrow? No, you see
the
them, they are
captain, the military
solidly
head of
built.
state.
Look at these houses. They are solidly built. This is what leadership is all about. And he's building it for the workers in his country. This one is not just big man's quarter. Building it for the people. You heard the voice that made this voice note, praising him. This is Burkina Faso. They are not wealthier than Nigeria. They don't have more natural resources than we do. But the problem we have is lack of management. Lack of management. And you can see that this current administration is not doing much in empowering the people. You know, the people are not empowered. That's why we have Yahoo boys all over the places. We have people who are into all kinds of criminality out there because people are, you know, just idle, doing nothing. And there are no skill centers to say, okay, let's push in every month, maybe like 10,000 people to go learn skills. There are online jobs. I saw a headline today that was talking about 80-something million tech jobs are yet to be, you know, grabbed. Many tech jobs out there, but we don't have people who have tech skills. Recently, a spokesperson for the Tinubu's government was on Shewu's mic on podcast program, and he said Peter Obi cannot manage a digital economy because he does not have the capacity to do that. And you keep asking, is it Tinubu that can do it? Where is the electricity? We don't have electricity. There's even currently no plan to give us light. Rather, we've seen them increase electricity tariff. And there's also speculation that they want to still increase it. Telecom has increased theirs. Peter Obi is the only person that even went to Egypt to go learn, so that if he eventually becomes president, he will start implementing from day one. But now they are telling us that he cannot manage a digital economy. Anyway, I don't really want to go into all those politics, but what I'm trying to say is that our leaders really have to sacrifice. They don't have that ability to really give up so many things. I think, as in, they don't have that willingness, not that they are not able, they can, but they don't have that willingness to give up. Anyway, guys, let's end it at that point. I have a guest today who is going to be speaking to us Nigerians. You know, if you are a Nigerian and you are interested in anything real estate business, I have somebody you can really that has the knowledge, and I really want him to start talking to Nigerians, you know, about real estate opportunities. Because see, I've checked, I am also into all this investment of a thing. I have some level of knowledge in it. I've checked a kind of interest rates, because I don't live in Nigeria, you may know that. I've checked interest rates in the Western world and back home. Honestly, there are a lot of advantages you can still take back home, even though we don't have good governments, we don't have good business policies, but there are some things you can still do in case you are eyeing Nigeria as a place you can still make some money. Or you are living abroad, but you feel you have to have a business back home, especially if you have dependents back home, or there are projects you have back home and you feel you have to be raising money constantly. I think I will encourage you to do one or two things for yourself, because I think that is where the world is now. People are talking about investment. If you have gone on YouTube, you'll find out that YouTube is now like becoming a platform for how to make money, you know, is how to make money. And for us who are Nigerians, we have a lot of opportunity, you know, to make money back home without you being duped, because that's one thing that we all have to watch out for. Without you being duped, without you, you know, losing your capital, your money, you have to know who you are giving your money to. You have to know who you are entrusting. You have to know all those stuff. And that is why I've taken my time to get somebody who is into the real estate business and who also has knowledge in that field. And I feel I should share, he should come up and share his idea with us. And I will also be inviting somebody to talk to us about how to invest in federal government bond, money market. There's also you know, so many opportunities out there. You can buy stocks even from the Nigerian stock markets. You know, I heard that some of the stocks in Nigeria last year did 500%. Do you know what that means? a whole lot of money, a whole lot of money. When I was in Nigeria, I bought some stocks. Then, when I even came here, I decided to just forget those stocks because I felt, with all the ups and downs in Nigerian market, you don't just put your mind in things like that so that you don't become hypertensive. I just ignored it. But recently, some of those stocks started picking up, and I think it's really a good market this time. So I have with me here somebody who has gone in the real estate business, and he's very well qualified in terms of the knowledge to share with us. And then we'll also get to know the challenges back home. We've seen, like in places like Lagos, they destroy people's property, telling you that you didn't build on the right place, or you encroached into some of the canal ways and all those stuff. So we don't want to get ourselves caught up in things like that. So it's always good to get yourself well informed. See, let me tell you guys, this last December, I don't know if you have heard of Dirty December. Dirty December. That's the first time I heard. This is the first time I heard that language, Dirty December. We're told that Lagos was so filled up, as in anything you have that is a property, be it Airbnb, be it a hotel, be it whatever. Like there's one we call here in Europe, we call it pension house. No matter any kind, even if it's your apartment you wanted to lease, everywhere as in people booked everything. So real estate is still a very good opportunity if you have the money to invest. It's something you can really go into. Although the problem we have in Nigeria has to do with trust and who to really rely on, which I am that person who will tell you, please take your time, make your investigation. Don't throw out your money out there. But I tell you, Nigeria is really a fertile ground. Africa as a whole is a fertile ground for people to, start investing. And somebody said, even if everybody in Nigeria should own a real estate, it will still not be enough because the population, and that is how one person is going to have like 6 children, another person will have 4 children. Just we keep multiplying, and there is this deficit when it comes to, apartments in Nigeria. So without wasting our time, let us welcome Mr. Benga. He's here with us to talk to us. So, hello, sir. Welcome to our show. May you just take a little time to introduce yourself to our audience. They would like to know who you are and also what you do. Just take some minutes to do that. A few minutes because we don't really have time.
Thank you so much, Madam Ifeoma. Great pleasure to be here, and I've totally enjoyed the session, the new session, and our regards to all your audience. I will pray that it will be a fruitful, productive period. My name is Mr. Benga Rahim. We're based here in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm the CEO of City Buildings Real Estate Development Company. We do landed properties as well as construction. We are primarily based in Lagos. So from Lagos, we have other ventures, property ventures in other parts of Nigeria. And we are most glad to be part of this your platform. Thank you for having us.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, man.
So I want you to talk to my audience. We have many Nigerians who are out there, and like we've been told, I'm a Peter Obi supporter. He has always told us that all these people who are jackpine is for the good of the country, because when they go out, they make money. They equally want to bring in that money to the country. It helps. We've been told, the GDP of what Nigerian in the diaspora contributes, we contribute a lot. And there are people outside the country who have made money. They don't really want to, invest in where they are residing because they don't know if they are going to go on retirement there. They might end up coming back to Nigeria. They want to come to Nigeria to invest. But there's this fear after we saw what was happening in Lagos, demolition early last year. There were a lot of demolition that happened in Lagos. People are beginning to be scared of bringing their money home. And also people do not really know who to entrust their money into their hand. Can you quickly talk to us about where we are now, considering the demolition that the Lagos government has been embarking on, are
Mm,
there still plans to demolish? What actually caused to those demolition? I think you should address that point, because people are scared. Lagos is a place to make
yeah,
business, but people are
yeah.
scared, especially the real estate is really booming in Lagos, but we don't
Yes,
know
it
who to
is.
give our money to, and we don't fall
Mm.
into the wrong hands. So can you just quickly address that to our audience?
Thank you very much, Madam Ifeoma. Thank you so much for the time. And it's really sad and very, very appalling that the country that is supposed to provide succor, support, protection is the same country that um, turns around, sort of like to bite the hand that feeds it. um we hope for the best, we pray for the best, but sometimes we try and cushion our expectation. The first one of the points that you raised in your news session, where the government is saying that they would deduct money paid to its workers. Without these workers, this country cannot go anywhere. And then there should be other ways where you relate with your people than trying to increase the suffering that is already at the peak. So it goes to the foundation of what we expect from this country: integrity and trust. Integrity and trust. And it's unfortunate because in Nigeria, people are sort of like self-governing. They provide their own water, provide their own power, provide their own electricity, provide their own money. And on top of that, instead of the government to provide platforms to try and, well, at least they're not giving us what we need. And then we're trying to even help ourselves, but they'll still come and yank off that carpet from our legs. It's really sad. Totally, totally sad. Now, coming to the issues of destruction. Um, in fact, it's something that begs for weeping. There's no way we can sugarcoat it. What our government is doing is terrible. Even let's even take for example that, okay, people have contravened. Do you now, in the spirit of trying to correct things, you now take a hammer to try and kill a mosquito? Okay, let's even assume that, okay, they have built where they ought not to have built. So the way to go about it, yes, I understand the place of correcting people so that others don't fall apart, but destroying properties worth hundreds of millions of naira, I think that is, it begs for another rethink. It begs for another rethink. To answer the question why government destroy things before somebody will set up any building construction on any piece of property in Lagos, in any part of Nigeria, there are building agencies that go around. The same people that give you approval to build on a particular property, they will turn around again to come and say that, oh, we made a mistake. Who does that? I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but giving to your earlier news, who paid the people? Is it not the government? So your system has a problem. You now want to punish the people that you not make the people victims. So it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. Now, would it, as the demolition stopped? I believe to a large extent that the government will not take steps like this again. Why do I say so? There is a body called the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, that is the REDAN, of which City Buildings is also part of. So we're sort of like an advocacy advocacy group, where we also call ourselves to order that there has to be sanity in this industry. We cannot be doing things like Jankara market people without structure, without proper regulations. So all that is also we're beginning to attend to all that, because if we don't put our house in order, the government, without the proper framework of addressing these issues, will just come and both the good, the bad, the innocent, they will just scatter everything. And it's sports market for everybody. It's sports business for everybody. As you mentioned, the GDP, the turnover, the inflow from the diaspora community is huge. It is huge. And the government cannot shy away from that. So, but you will expect that the government will want to encourage that inflow. to provide framework and the structure to encourage people to bring in more of the foreign exchange.
Yeah.
But we're trying to balance that. So the Redan organization, of which we're part of, we're trying to step into the situation now so that people's investments are protected. So there's a lot of sanity now going
Oh,
into the industry.
okay.
On behalf of the Redan body, and well, partly on behalf of also the government, sincerely, we need to apologize for this ill behavior. But I want to give your audience the assurance that the Redan Association is looking into it, and we are more interacting with the government to calm down this errant, irresponsible destruction of people's livelihood and properties.
Yes.
So that's going to be reducing. That's going to be reducing.
So
Thank you.
you are telling the my viewers that there is a body, is a new body, right? Is
It's
it
actually
new?
not a new body. It's not a new body, but it is now. Our people say that when you wake up is your morning. It is sort of like
Okay.
a reawakened Redan.
Let's say they are
There was
more
a.
active now.
They are more responsible and active now. Yes.
Okay, okay. So there
Yes.
is a
Yes.
body now that
Yes.
sees to the government not just going out there to start destroying properties. So, but my
Yes.
question now is, assuming somebody who is living in the United States or in the United Kingdom is looking forward to investing in Nigeria, what kind of investigations should the person do to avoid falling into the wrong hands? Because I think this problem is in two ways, because you can actually fall into the wrong hand. Either they give you a land that has been sold multiple times, or even a
Mm,
land that does not belong to them. So what are the
mm,
steps people should start looking at to avoid that mistake? And then apart from falling into the wrong hand, what are also the steps, assuming you bought a land and it's really legitimate, how do
yeah.
you prevent falling into buying a land that is maybe on a canal path, so that the government
Okay.
doesn't come to start destroying it? So I don't know, this question is in two ways, falling into the wrong hand, those people that want to sell properties multiple times, and possibly they are not even the owner, and then, or you bought a legitimate land but you ended up buying a land that is located in a wrong place, maybe a portion of land that is owned by the government, or the canal part is there, something like that.
Thank you for the question. I understand the question perfectly. Let me take the wrong use location first. Now, as I said, the Resident Association is sort of like an advocacy group, and is now more connected to government now, because what affects one person, what affects one developer, affects everybody, because it's now a more unified group. So we are now talking to the government to put its own house in order. Because in the past, what the government does is that when you get a property, you chart the property, it's free from encumbrances and any acquisition, and then you get approval from the same government to build. So what happens in the past is that the government doesn't show you properly where they have sort of like their plan, where they have their drainage part, where they have maybe a rail part, train part that they want to use for that purpose. They didn't have all that well structured out. And then even in cases where they have it, they still allow their system to be porous to sort of, because what they used to do was have an analog system. They had analog system in the past, but now they're not trying to digitize it because of all the outcry from people that it is from you that I got this approval to build. You can't give an approval to build on a property, and then you now come later and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did not know that there was this in here." And then what now happens is that when when the rain comes, the flood comes, everywhere is choked up. So the government is forced to even create pain. Sometimes it's not even what they intentionally want to do, but because it's now that property probably is now obstructing the greater good of the people, they have to pull down such things. So to avoid that now, what the system now does is that things are now more better digitized, and then when someone submits their survey for to get building approval, it is not clearly shown.
Okay.
It's not clearly shown. So because of all the advocacy group now and outcry, government is now more responsible to being better detailed, to knowing what they have planned for the future and what is going to be obstructing their development. So government is now better responsive. Government is better responsive. That's number one. Number two, buying property from scrutinized sources. What I would like to encourage your audience to do is, before they buy from anyone, now thank God a lot of things are online. They should make sure they do a lot of online verification of who they want to buy from. That's number one. Number two, they shouldn't pay to individuals. They shouldn't pay to individuals. Number three, especially in the real estate sector, there's something called the SCUM, SCUML. SCUML. They must ensure that they tell the developer to produce their SCUM certificate. What the SCUM certificate does is that it says that they are registered with the EFCC and they are also governed by some banking regulations, so that they can't just disappear. So if they're able to provide a SCUM, in fact, SCUM regulation, SCUM certificate, and their resident certificate, certificate and their resident certificate, and then they can now get, because in Nigeria a lot of things can be forged, unfortunately. So what they can do with these two important documents is now check with the resident association if they know this person. Because I mean, anybody can post anything online and say, "Oh, we're a real estate development company," and then your audience now that are better enlightened, that's okay. Please, can I have your SCUM certificate? Can I have your resident certificate? If they don't have it, they will vanish. They'll say, "Oh my goodness, this fellow is about to get hold of me. Is really smoking me out." So if they provide it, that means that. So after providing it, your audience should please now check with the SCUM authority and with the resident authority. The details are online, and we can definitely freely provide those details to you so that they can check if these people are properly registered. If they are properly registered, that means they're a legit company. That's number one. Number two, if they now have a property that they are projecting to be selling, there are now things that, because we're now trying to hold the government also responsible. Because in the past, unfortunately, in the past, the government itself can issue a certificate of occupancy to two or three individuals. Who does that? Where is that done in any sane society? How should that be possible? And I will have a CFO over a property. You can also have a CFO over the same property. Two CFO from one government. Government is not two. From one government. So part of the advocacy has been talking to government to sanitize all this. And government is actually listening to us, because there's so much havoc being done. People are losing their money. So to forestall buying a wrong property, ask the fellows to give you the survey documents of the property. Now it's in two parts. It's one for them to give you a survey. That means they're trying to show you evidence that they own that property. Number two, which is very important, which I would like to appeal to your audience, is very, very important. Now, you see, there's one thing living in Nigeria, and it's another thing living abroad. Nigeria, to a very large extent, we are still a developing country, but our economic harshness, our weather harshness, particularly, is not compared to our brothers and sisters living in Europe, in America, and in other parts of the world. The tedious environment which you guys make your money is not something for you to allow your money to be invested and to be wasted. Please, I would like to appeal to your audience. Your money is too precious. You go through 2-3 jobs, through harsh weathers. So please, let's help you protect your money. So when you have a property you want to buy, you get the survey. Please kindly get your own surveyor. It's important. Even if you are buying from city buildings, get your own surveyor. Because as much as they are good people, they are also bad people. As much as they are good people, they are also bad people. But what they do is that they copy what is good and have bad intentions for it.
So what's the role that the surveyor is going to play in all this to ensure the land is genuine?
Thank you. Now, after the company has given you their survey, your surveyor, because on a survey you have some details, particularly the name of the company. That's number one. Number two is the coordinates of the property. The coordinates of the property. Now, the duty of the surveyor is now to go to that property site, to go to the land physically, and take his own survey coordinates. He must take his own coordinate standing on that ground. So when he takes that coordinate, he now compares it with what he has been given from this initial survey. Okay. So number one, there will be some closeness. It will not be the exact thing, but it will be that like you have 30 children in the same class. They will sit at different locations in that class, but they will be within that boundary. So that coordinate must be within the boundary of that survey that he has been given. So if that is good, that is number one. That is good. If it is not, that is a scam. If that survey the coordinate he takes is not looking similar to that environment within that survey, it's run. That's what your audience should do. Run. So now, but if
okay, sorry. You can continue.
Yes.
I wanted to say something.
Okay. So, but if it's now in the survey, that's good. So the next step for the surveyor is now to go to the Lands Bureau at well, if it's Lagos State, we have Lands Bureau in Lagos State, Alausa. If it's not Lagos State, it's still the same Lands Bureau, whether in Ogun State or your state, Enugu, and wherever, Abuja, there is a Lands Bureau. So that's why the advocacy is strong now from Redan, that government, please, we cannot be trying to talk to our people to say let's sanitize, and you are the referee, you are the custodian of everything. You also have to get your house in order. So government is actually listening. Thank God for that. Thank God. Apart from a few cases where government is, they need help, but in some cases, God is helping them. They are listening. So the surveyor will now take the coordinate to the Lands Bureau to say, okay, this is the survey that we were given. This coordinate falls within this property. Tell us the status of this area. Okay. Is it so when it comes to land in Lagos particularly, there's what we call committed acquisition. There's what we call non-committed acquisition. Now, what committed acquisition is that government in its master plan has use for this area. So there's nothing you can do here. For example, such uses could be a general hospital, could be a refinery. Yes, because we had that case. Could be a refinery, can be a stadium, can just be a green area. So there's committed acquisition. Now there's also what we call non-committed acquisition. That means, so by default, all land belongs to government.
Yeah.
All land belongs to government. So now what government now says when it's not a committed acquisition is that yes, the land belongs to us, but the government does not have any plan for it. So that is still a safe area. Now, under such non-committed acquisition, the surveyor will now do his work to say, okay, my client has interest in buying this. Okay. Will I be able to get a C of O? They will not tell the surveyor the requirements to get that C of O. But if it already has a C of O before, what your audience will do is now apply for a governor's consent.
Okay.
So that is basically the process. So, but just to start with, any company that they are dealing with, number one, they should make sure that they have an online presence. We are in a digital age now. There's nothing like, I don't like being online. No. You might not be online personally, but your organization is an institution. It must be online. Yeah. It must be verifiable.
It's nice.
It's just like you saying, I don't want to have a website. Then why are you doing business? Go and farm and know that's you want to be a farmer. Even farmers have websites. More modernized farmers have websites. So they must have online presence. They must have a school certificate. They must have Redan certificates, and they must be definitely, even before they must be registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So that's
Okay.
basically, in a brief, the
Hmm.
requirement, the steps to take to get a legit property.
Wow. I've
Yes, ma'am.
equally learned a lot. I'm really enjoying the show. So, guys, I hope
Thank you.
you all are listening and you are picking one or two things. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to like the video so that YouTube will recommend it to more people for them to watch and see steps that are necessary in acquiring land in Nigeria. So you've heard everything he said. You must get a surveyor who will go there himself to do his own survey and then compare it with what was given to him to ensure at least it won't be exact, but it will be close or within that range of whatever measurements that he got from them and all
Mhm.
other steps. The certificate he said you must get Radian and Scrum. Then you also
Yes.
verify from the organizations to be sure that those certificates are not fake because they can fake it and give it to you and you
Oh
think you've
yes.
gotten the
Oh
right one.
yes.
So when
Oh
you get the
yes.
Scrum, you get the Radian, you have to also go to these two different organizations, share with them and tell them you just want to verify if these certificates are legitimate, if they are okay, and then you continue the journey from there. But it's nice to hear that the Lagos government is actually listening to people
Oh
because
yes.
guess what? Those demolition discouraged a lot of people. You can just looking at a new building and they'll just be pulling it down. People were even saying, we're just giving 24 hours, we're just giving 2 days, we're just giving one day. That alone, discouraged so many people. But it's good that the government of Lagos is actually looking into that. We just hope that other parts of Nigeria will equally make sure that their areas are safe for investors to come in, because we have many Nigerians out there and many of us out there are doing well. People want to come home, invest, and still be making money from Nigeria because this is where you pay lesser taxes, than what is
Mm-hmm.
being paid
Mm-hmm.
abroad. So you make
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money when you invest back home than when you are investing in all this Western world. So it's good to know that actually there are routes you will follow and then you will not fall into scams, you will not fall into the wrong hand. And also, he said any company you are dealing with should have an online presence. Like him himself, he's into real estate, and you can see his face. If anything goes wrong, you know him, you see his face, because there are people that will just register their website online, you don't even know them, and you send them money. No, you should be able to see people. Maybe they have a channel or they have an online presence where their face is shown, and you can easily get in touch with them. And like for Mr. Benga, I've attached his website. You can check the comment section. His website is there. You can go there to take a look. And also, if you have more questions to ask him, you are free to send him a message. Then he's going to reply you. And we'll be having this program, on a regular basis for him to keep lecturing us and informing us on how to go about acquiring properties back home. You can get as many as you can back home, especially those of us that have access to credit outside the country. You can easily get this money with the with the exchange rate. You exchange it, you have a lot of money you can deposit and be paying gradually. That's even one of the things. Mr. Benga, can you throw more light on this? On Is there the possibility of people to acquire land by paying gradually until they are able to finish their payment, and what are the requirements for that?
Thank you for that. Oh, yes. So, because the Redden is trying to structure the industry now, um, we are now trying to make sure that we get legitimate developers, property developers, to pitch their products to both Nigerians and diasporans. So we have various products because we understand that, I mean, it's not everyone that is in government that have access to money that they have stashed in warehouses and in potholes and in apartments. So everybody is not hiding money everywhere. So we earn our money monthly. So also developers have come up with programs to allow people pay in bits, sometimes within 6 months, 12 months, 18 to 24 months. So that's those sort of products are available, just as well as in city buildings. We have lands that we are selling on installment payment basis, 6 months, 12 months, as well as housing construction. So just as we are doing it, City Buildings is doing it, we have other credible developers also doing the same thing. And so it's very credible, it's very laudable, so that if you don't have all the money at once, the
Yeah.
process is basically to put out an initial deposit, what we call initial commitment. But before then, you first tick all the boxes of making sure that your surveyor gets involved. You, even for city buildings, you go through this same process. You get the SCOM certificate, get the residence certificate, if possible, get their CSC certificate. Okay, and don't pay into any account that does not bear the names on these certificates, because it
Okay.
can give you a name. For example, let's even use ourselves, City Buildings, and they were not telling you to pay into like lagbajainternational.com. No, 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 no. The name
Yeah.
on the certificate is the name that should be the account of that company. All right.
Yeah.
So if you cross those T's and dot the I's, you can go ahead, look at the product they have, get your surveyor involved to certify that the land is where it is. Okay, and then
Yeah.
also you must have video inspections with your representative. If you have a trusted family member on ground, good. But if not, you can also use the service of the surveyor, that when he goes for his inspection, you want to have a video coverage of his activities, because you are paying
Okay.
him. So you can demand that. So that, please, where you go, I want to have a video footage, of live video footage of what you are doing, because it's
Okay.
under your payroll. So it's definitely he has to oblige you that. So have a video coverage so that you see what's on ground, and then you too you see what how the environment is, and so you're not just paying blindly and trusting another person's opinion. So basically, their payment plan and for both land and housing. And I would like to encourage again your audience. Our people say there's no place like home, and there are different parts of the coin. There are those of us. The Bible speaks of Joshua and Moses. Moses was on the mountaintop. Joshua was fighting on the ground. So there's those of us that have to stay in Nigeria. There are those of us that have to stay in the diaspora. We have to work together and make wealth grow for ourselves. So by
Yes.
the grace of God, there are a couple of us here. We are positioned to build our trust and credibility to your audience, to our diasporan brothers. Don't trust anybody blindly. Please follow the processes. Because even your brother, your mother, you must certify their trust. Trust is not given; it must be earned. Somebody must
Yeah.
earn the trust. We citizens, we want to
So,
earn your trust. Yes, we are saying we are trustworthy, but we must still prove it.
yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for this
Thank you, ma.
informative session. I really enjoyed it. I've really learned a lot, and I am believing that my audience too, they've picked one or two things, because I think there is a
We,
lot of
we are glad.
opportunities, in Nigeria. You see this
Oh yes, there
Airbnb
is. Oh
that
yes, there is.
Americans are using to make more money. You can actually go into Airbnb in Nigeria. You can buy properties and list them
Oh yes,
online. You'll be paid in dollars. So, and
yes.
the tax you are going to be paying is lesser than what you pay in the US. And like he has told us, you can actually
Definitely,
pay
definitely.
instrumentally. You can't just come,
Yes,
and
you
if they
can.
say it's
Yes, you
100
can.
million, you just give 100. You can pay it instrumentally so that it won't be heavy on you. So I
How
think
many
there's a
people have the
huge
100 million just like that?
Yes, there's huge opportunities out there. So I want to encourage you. If it's something you are really interested in, you can follow them. Go to their website. You see you also see their social media handles, and you follow them there to get updates. There are questions you ask just to get all this information, because honestly, if you really want to be wealthy, you need to be informed. You need all this information. Information is key in the journey of becoming successful, because if you don't get the right information, you will equally not take the right steps. You might be
True.
doing something you think is right, but at the end of the day, you get to lose all your money. So it's always good to be informed, and that's actually why we are bringing this session. So guys, I want to thank you all for joining. By next week again, we'll be coming up here to give you guys more information. Today is the first time we are having this session on real estate, and like I've told you, it will be a wise decision if you start looking back home to invest. Don't just focus on where you are residing, also try to invest. But like I told you guys, the biggest of our challenge or our challenges is falling into the wrong hand or buying properties, and they will tell you that you bought it, is situated in a wrong place, all those stuff. And that is what he has addressed tonight, why you shouldn't be afraid. And he has told you all the steps you have to take to avoid falling into the wrong hand. So I want to thank you, Mr. Benga. Thank you for
Thank you, madam.
for the educative session. Thank you so much. And I hope to bring you on board again next week. Let's keep educating Nigerians. Many of us are interested in investing back home, but there is a gap to be filled, who to trust. And I hope by the time they come and test you and they find out that you are credible, that will also attract more people to deal with you in business. So thank you very much for your time.
We are here to serve.
Thank you, my audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time. We are most grateful. Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Cheers to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.